Okay,
Sound a little
yeah,
better.
it's better with the um, yeah, it's better that way.
Yeah. Okay, we locked in. We locked in. I
Cool,
like to
cool.
give it a
Is
couple
the lighting
seconds.
good enough?
Yeah, the lighting good.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You
Okay.
good. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds for somebody to tune in, a couple people tune in. And not too long. You don't want to disrespect the people that actually came in.
Right, right.
Okay, so we live and active.
All right, cool, cool.
So this is a very special live stream, and I usually do these on Sundays. I've been doing them every Sunday for the past 3 months. I've been doing these every Sunday, and usually they were just me explaining things. I had actual um, like presentations I had put together. I had a bunch of things together. So the last 2 weeks, I've done I actually had guests on, and the Sunday guest has been females, and I want to keep it that way until the end of the year. But I had the opportunity to bring somebody on that has a plethora of information, and it would be a disservice for me not to have him on. So I am not going to do too much horn blowing. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Once I hit you with the what's happening. That's Aazim Sharp of Leaf Credit Solutions, y'all. This has basically become my mentor over the past year. I was about 3, 4 months into doing credit repair, and I was feeling cocky that I had a decent understanding of it. And then I met this man, and he was like, "Yeah, that's cool, but this business credit a different animal." So, and since then we've been building regularly, like all the time, and it's been a great year, like a great year of learning and understanding. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself and tell y'all how he came into the business, and we gonna go to the interview from there.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's a pleasure to join you today, and I've been in the industry for about 13 years now. I come from a real estate background as a real estate investor, and then I transitioned into owning a credit repair company, and then after that, to actually offer other services like business credit building, business and personal funding as well. And met Alvin, and he was new to the business, and I was, just open to be able to help him. Um, Honestly speaking, I don't take a liking to everybody, just like you don't like everybody you meet. But we connected on a different level. Um, I really saw that he was a really good, solid dude. A lot of morals, and you know, we have been through some similar things in life. But you know, as far as the credit repair space, I've been in this business for 13 years, and I've learned a lot throughout this time, repairing credit and helping individuals and working with people. But and I enjoy doing it because your credit. I always tell my clients and just tell people in general, your credit could either be bondage or freedom, and a lot of people are bound because of their credit, and they don't have um, the necessary resources or tools, or they don't know that they have them in order to take them to the place that they want to be in life. So I enjoy what I do. Today on this live, man, it's going to be very informal. It's just us just here having a conversation. If anyone has questions or want to interject or say something, or at some point, we just want to have an open dialogue. I believe this, right? Although I've been in this industry for 13 years, always remain teachable, no matter what industry you're in. If you're a contractor, if you're an attorney, whoever you are, if you remain teachable, you come at things from a place of humility. So never think that you know everything, because you don't know everything. I don't know everything. I know a whole lot about credit, but I still don't know everything. And if you position yourself to that way, you'll realize that you'll go a lot further. You don't want to be one of those people who know everything. And although I know a lot, I'm able to lend my knowledge and help others, but I'm still learning. So always remain teachable. I would say that.
Definitely.
So,
So, um, what's some of the things that's changed over the past 13 years in the credit repair space?
wow. In the industry, you mean?
Yeah, in
Me
the
and you laugh
industry.
about this a lot too. Um, wow. In the industry,
Yeah.
there has been so much that has changed. I remember when I first came in, there weren't a whole lot of credit repair companies. Um, you know, but now the space is just so it's really really oversaturated. Everybody knows somebody who does credit repair, either a lady that goes to your church or my aunt or my grandmother or hey my brother, and everybody does credit repair. One of the things that I had actually recorded a video about this, and I said, someone asked, what are some of the things that you would like to see change in your industry? And I would love to see some sort of accreditation, meaning that we should be in the industry held to some sort of standard. Because you could literally go on the internet right now, get a credit repair kit for $30 and say, hey, I'm in the credit repair business. And it's crazy, and there's no sort of accreditation and there's no standard that we're held to. So it's like the wild, wild west out here. You have people who are not qualified to do what they're doing because there's no standard that they have to be held to. They're clueless about what they're doing. They can't spell FICO and they are handling individuals' credit reports. And trust me, listen, I don't say that from a place of just judgment and being judgmental, but understanding that we're dealing with people, their personal information, and we're working on credit. And myself, we should all have some sort of accreditation, but there's no one who's actually the government or nobody has stepped in to say that, okay, we're going to hold these individuals to a standard and you are going to be required to have some testing. You're going to be there's going to be a curriculum. There is going to be just like a realtor. They don't just wake up and say, hey, I'm going to be a realtor today and I'm going to go out and sell houses. No, they have testing. They have guidelines that they have to follow. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that if our industry, in the credit repair industry, if we were held to that same standard, people would respect us more. I know even in my own family, when I told people, hey, I own a credit repair company a long time ago, they're like, oh, here we go again, a credit repair company. Like, you're not, listen, your cousin who has a master's degree and if you own a credit repair company, they look at you like you're, I don't know, just like a bum off the streets or something. So but you know what? I look and I say, you know what? It's a very honorable profession. I enjoy it, and it has because of this profession, I have been able to positively impact the lives of thousands of people over my 13 years. There are people who own homes because of what I do and how I was able to help them. There are other business owners that I've been able to help. My family, because of the help that I give to other people, we've been able to live a good life um, and live abundantly because of the help that I give to people. So, it's a blessing. But again, I would love to see some sort of accreditation in or requirement to the individuals in this industry.
Most definitely. And in understanding good credit repair and bad credit repair, you can explain what that accreditation would look like. So, what are some of the things that the accreditation would entail for it to be a quality accreditation? Like for somebody to see that stamp and know that that person is exactly who they claim to be. What would that look like to you?
Okay, so for instance, there would be some sort of curriculum, like understanding like the difference between the three credit reporting agencies. There would be how to read a credit report, how to understand it, how to basic things, how to remove a bankruptcy. Now, bankruptcy is one of the most difficult things to remove on a credit report. But if you're in this industry and you're charging people for a service and you're providing a service, you should be able to articulate and explain to someone the steps of removing a bankruptcy. But unfortunately, most people in our industry cannot, especially honestly. And I hate it. I hate it with a passion to see when the multi-level marketing companies flooded this business. And when I say they dirtied and muddied up the credit repair industry so bad, like it was absolutely disgusting. And some of them still are. And it's, again, because I have a love for what I do and I'm passionate about what I do, um, it bothered me if I didn't and I was just looking to make a buck. Hey, I wouldn't care. I'd say, hey, I just care about me and my clients. But they just gave the industry such a bad name because you had individuals who had no clue about what they're doing. They're charging people and passing them off to a company, and then people are not getting results. And then that made you look bad, we look bad, because they're like, oh, if I seen one credit repair company, I've seen them all.
Yep.
And I had to explain to people, like, listen, if you hire a contractor and they don't work out, you don't say, hey, I'm not dealing with contractors anymore. If you go to a doctor and it's not a good fit for you, you don't say, hey, I'll never go to a doctor again. Don't weigh how you feel about credit repair companies based solely on the experience that you had with one or two bad ones. Because there's some great ones out here, like yourself. I'm good at what I do, and there's some others, but there's a lot of bad apples out there who are really spoiling a bunch, unfortunately.
Definitely. So, what are some of the mistakes that people make while they're repairing their credit?
Okay. Well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of mistakes that people make when they're repairing their credit. And I tell people this, right? Because sometimes I often talk to people and they say, hey, well, I'm just going to go repair my own credit. And I say, and I'll stop them, just so they're educated on the process and say, hey, if you're going to repair your credit, let me ask you a quick question. When the creditor comes back and say that they verified that the accounts belong to you, right? And then they file a lawsuit against you, what are you going to do? What do you do? What's your next step? Well, I don't know. Or either they're pausing just quiet. And I say, well, if you don't know, then you shouldn't be repairing your own credit, right? Someone doesn't start performing, or a heart surgeon doesn't start performing heart surgery, based off of a video that he saw or article that he watched. And it's unfortunate that, a lot of people, they make the mistake of going into something that they have no knowledge about. Like, for instance, one of the mistakes that people make is disputing online, right? So people don't realize that the disputing their accounts or challenging their accounts, negative information online, was created by the credit reporting agencies themselves because it saves them millions of dollars. When you dispute an account online, it actually, you can't, in the fields that you have to fill in, you cannot put all of the necessary information in there. Two, you actually waive some of your rights. So when you go to dispute those accounts and those rights are waived, though the credit reporting agencies can actually place that account back onto your credit report without any notification, right? Whereas though if you dispute or challenge that account in writing, they can't do that if the account is removed. So disputing online is one of them. A big one is choosing the wrong credit repair company if they're going to hire a professional. Most people choose or make their decision based on price. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. If they're if they are choosing based on price, some people are looking for the cheapest. And then there's other individuals, they think that, hey, if I paid thousands, it's definitely going to work. But you want to base your decision based on who you choose to help you, based on what you're getting for the money, the value you're getting. Is there a warranty? Is there a money back guarantee? Is there a performance clause, meaning that if you don't get any results, are you going to get your money back? What is that company's track record? Not so based solely on price. Whenever people call our company and the first question they ask is, how much is it? I already know what kind of person I'm dealing with. I already know that 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be my client because, it's just like, imagine this. If you walked into a department store right now, right? A department store you love, whether it's Neiman Marcus or Bergdorf Goodman, wherever. And the first thing when a guy comes over, you say, how much is this? How much is this right here? And they're looking like, well, you obviously
Mhm.
you don't belong in here because you're worried, you're so worried about price. You don't care about what you're looking at. And I can automatically tell if one of the first questions out of their mouth is how much you charge, then their work money is, it doesn't make them a bad person, but money is something that they're worried about. Um, so that's a mistake. And choosing someone who's the most expensive, that's not necessarily, because I've talked to people who say, hey, I paid this guy or this woman $4,000 and my credit never got repaired. But that individual thought because they paid $4,000, hey, it's ball game, everything's going to be perfect. Not
Yeah.
necessarily. So don't base your decision on choosing a professional based off of price. You should never do that. Um, and then the third thing I would say is paying off collection accounts. A lot of people make that mistake. Um, when you pay off a collection account, it actually lowers your credit score. And because they're actually updating the date of last activity. And then that account that you just paid off, it actually is going to remain on your credit report for an additional 7 years from the date that you make the last payment, right? So some people might ask, hey, well, if I don't pay off this account, how is it going to be removed? Well, and we can go into that another time, or you can go over that with them. Uh, Disputing accounts based on factual disputing.
Yeah.
So you don't want to just pay off collection accounts,
Yeah.
because Alvin has had, and I have had, tons of clients whose accounts we have had removed from their credit report
Yep.
without actually the clients paying them off. If you're going to just pay off accounts, then you don't need to hire a professional for that. So those
Not
are
at
some of the costly mistakes I would say people make.
Not at all. And but some of the things, I actually have a client that's watching now. I actually I actually sent in a settlement letter, and in my
Mhm.
settlement letters I make it to where they got to clear it off totally. And
Right.
sometimes I'm settling for, actually with this particular client that was just on Shay was on, um I actually did something for her for $800 and they settled for zero. Just completely wiped it off her
It's good.
credit. You know what I mean?
It's
So
good.
sometimes just showing somebody that you actually paying attention to it. And I don't admit to nothing in the letter. Like, I don't admit
Right.
that it's mine. I say, look, it's
Right.
on there. I want to get it off of there. So
Right.
and you do that. I had a collection company just reach out to me the last couple months, and
Hmm.
I didn't tell them anything. Like, it was some
Okay.
stuff that happened to me before I went in, and I didn't answer the phone for them when they called. I told them, look, quit calling my phone. You know what I mean? And they added on my credit report in September, and I
Hmm.
sent in a response. I sent in I disputed it in October, and
Hmm.
it was off. It's off now. So it's all
That's good.
about, like I know it's different ways to go at every single thing. But with them, I didn't want to hear nothing about settling, nothing about them wiping it off. I didn't, I sent them a letter like, look, you lying on me. You know what I mean? You
Right. Right.
lying
Right.
on me. And I
Right.
went
Right.
I went at it hard as fast as it
Right.
hit my account. I went at it real
Right.
aggressive, and it's off. It's off. It's off from all three boroughs. They had no right to be coming at me 6, 7
Right.
years later talking about something crazy. So,
Exactly.
um,
And
you
that's
know, go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry about that. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize that when they look at their credit report, right, they don't realize that everything on your credit report must be, and this is the law based on the Fair Credit Reporting Act, everything on your credit report must be, number one, reporting 100% accurately, right? Number two, everything on your credit report must be 100% verifiable. And then number three, it must be reporting within the allowable statute of limitations. So let's unpack that, right? What do we mean, right? Because if you don't understand that, then I just made three statements that you don't understand. So 100% accurate, right? Do you know that 79% of credit reports have errors? So the credit reporting agencies are very sloppy record keepers, right? Because they're data companies. They're keeping data on millions of individuals. So if you look at your credit report, I can guarantee that you will find information that's inaccurate. You may look at one account and they have one loan amount with Experian, another loan amount for the same account, another loan amount with TransUnion. So that's not accurate. So based on factual disputing, that means that account can be challenged and can either be updated or removed from your credit report based off that it's not reporting 100% accurately. Mean 100% verifiable. What do we mean by that? So if the account, if you request the original signatures and documentation, right, from that account, and the third party debt collector who purchased the account from the original creditor, if they can't supply that, then hey, that's not 100% verifiable. Then that account can be removed. This is all based on the law. The Fair Credit Reporting Act. The Fair Credit Reporting Act means that the burden of proof falls upon the creditor, right, and not you, the consumer. That's how you can remove collection accounts and judgments and repossessions and those type of items. It's not magic. It's not a hookup at the credit reporting agency. It's all factual disputing and understanding the process, knowing, okay, when I look at this, where's the violation here, right? So you're going to be using credit for the rest of your life. It's important that you understand the laws, that you stay in this group and groups like this, so that way you continue to get knowledge and use it. You know, that's important.
Definitely, definitely. And then once you realize that these inaccuracies or um
Mhm.
flat out lies sometimes occur,
Right.
once again, do not challenge them online.
No.
Do not, if you're just tuning in, do not challenge them online. I have people tell me that, well, I hit the Experian this or Credit Karma challenge or whatever. Do not do it. Do
Right.
not do it, y'all.
Right.
It's a
Right.
lot of stuff. There's a lot of rumors and fairy tales that go on with your credit. I just put out the
Right.
DIY kit and I try to dispel a lot of the fairy tales. So the DIY
Right.
kit,
Right.
and we keep it 100 with you. So
Yeah.
if you, what happens when they do sue you? What's the next step if they send you a letter and they say, well, I see you trying to, come at me, well, I'm gonna come at you. How about I see you in court next month?
Right. Right. So if you're sued by a creditor, there are a lot of different steps that you can take, but I'll give you four of the defenses that you can use. One of them is challenging the debt collector, their right to sue, right? You're
Hmm.
challenging their right to sue because let's say the third party debt collector does not have a right to sue, then you can expose that. Again, too, one of the things we'll make available for the people in your group is the whole report that I put together on this. And you can, give it to your clients or whatever, or the people that are in your group. So you want to challenge the right to sue. Um, Also, you want to ask for documentation, the original agreement signed by you. That's information that you want to ask. And if it's a third party debt collector, in many occasions, they will not have it. Um, you also want to ask for the chain of custody, meaning the paperwork that you signed or the paperwork that shows where the actual debt originated. That's important. Where did the debt originate? So you want to look at the chain of custody. That's very, very important. And a lot of people don't realize that. And then you want to push back on the burden of proof. You want the burden of proof. The burden of proof falls upon the creditor and not you, the consumer. They have a legal requirement to prove just a couple of things, like you are responsible for the debt. They have to also prove that you are the person that's suing you. They have to have the right to be able to sue you. And in some cases, they can't. Like, I'll give an example. Let's say a creditor who's looking to collect a debt from you. If that creditor is not licensed to do business in the state that you either live in or the debt was acquired in, then they don't have the right to actually pursue you for that debt. But they're not going to make you aware of that when they contact you. Be careful of what you say over the phone. Most people, they look and they start getting nervous, they get pressured, they're frustrated. I had a client tell me 2 weeks ago that this debt collector is actually calling his mother, his uncle, everybody. So we're jumping on top of that case, sending that person a cease and desist. And then I hand everything over to the attorney so that way the attorney can start doing the investigation, and they get hit with fines for every single phone call that they're violating because they have laws that they have to actually adhere to. And a lot of them break the law because they know that most consumers don't understand what their rights are. So they're actually in constant violation.
Jewels. You're dropping jewels tonight. Jewels. So let's switch gears a little bit and get into the business credit. We at about the halfway mark. And
Okay.
the business credit is a little more entertaining. It's
Okay.
not so
Okay.
stressful as the personal credit. Like personal
Right.
credit,
Right.
um, the even though business credit is a little more at stake as far as the money involved and the funds available for your business,
Mhm.
personal credit like weigh you down because you can go get a new LLC tomorrow. Like you don't feel tied down to your business credit.
Right.
Like
Right.
you feel like, when this is all over, I can throw this in the trash and start a new business. Your
Right.
personal credit, you like, this is locked down to me. So let's actually discuss some of the major differences between personal credit and business credit.
Right. Okay, so some of the fundamental major differences is this. One, your personal credit has five factors, right? You have payment history, which is 35% of your credit score. You have your actual credit utilization or credit usage, which is 30%. You have length of credit history, which is 15%. You have also your inquiries, which account for 10% of your credit score. And then you also have a mix or variety of credit, which is 10%. So there's five factors that make up your credit score, right? But
And that's the
uh-huh,
FICO model.
yeah,
And that's the most commonly used,
commonly
you know, the
used, exactly,
yeah, so that's the one you want to be concerned with. Some of the other models,
exactly.
they actually weigh more towards other things. Like some of them weigh more towards, are you paying your bills? And that's, or
Exactly.
so it's depending on, which ones they pull in. So you see, that's the major difference. I ain't giving you game, I'm giving the listeners game.
Right,
You
right.
know
No,
the game.
no, no. Listen, no. I
So I just
appreciate.
want to,
Hey, listen. Do
yeah,
you remember what we said in the beginning of the call? I'm still a
yeah.
student. At
No,
the
but
end
you
of the
know the
day, I'm
game.
still a
I
student.
ain't
Yeah,
definitely ain't,
yeah.
we kicking
Sometimes,
it.
listen, I have to refresh myself because
Yeah.
sometimes, even though you know something, your
Yeah.
your 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 mind this
Yeah.
it's sometimes you have so much information constantly bombarding your mind. You have
Yeah.
to say, all right, well, I need to refresh myself. Sometimes I have to go read a book that I read 2 years ago, read it over because I
Man.
forgot what was in the book.
Yep, I got a
So,
whole library
no, I
behind me
appreciate
like
what
that,
you,
yeah.
yeah, I appreciate what you're giving me, man.
No,
You've made
I'm giving it to
excellent
them,
strides.
but we
Right,
here,
right,
you know how we
right,
kick it. So, I wanna make, because people look for a way to try to discredit you, or, not just you in particular,
right,
me also. So I wanna make sure they understand that that's the FICO, that's how they weigh your credit score.
right,
Some of the
right,
other scores, you actually get into the Vantage scores where they actually weigh more towards, your payment history or whatever. Like,
right.
it's the same factors, it's different weight. So do not call me with your Credit Karma score telling me that they used something else to weigh it, whatever. Like, so let's be clear. That's the FICO 8
Right, right,
score,
right,
and things
right,
change because they trying to get
right,
into the new FICO scores and the new Vantage
right,
scores. So a couple years down the line, this will still be online, and don't hold us to what we saying. This is
yeah,
2022,
right.
November, what was the 17th?
Full disclosure,
Full
right?
disclosure before y'all
Yeah,
try to discredit us. I don't
yeah,
know everything, but I got a good mentor and he makes sure I know something.
right,
So I'm not freestyling.
right. Cool, cool. Yep. No,
so
you're right about that.
so back into the weight
Business
of
credit.
the five different things, that the
Yeah.
five factors.
So those are the five factors, and then so with personal credit, you have all of those five factors that weigh in. But with business credit, there's one factor: do you pay on time? That's
That's it.
it. So there are so many advantages to you if you own a business to utilizing business credit,
Yep.
right? Business credit is something that's not publicized by creditors because they want you as a business owner to take all of the risk, but let the business take the risk. I see so many people who their credit scores fluctuate, right? Up and down. And so when their credit scores fluctuate, they're like, okay, my utilization is high. So I wanted to try to get some funding, but I can't right now because my credit cards, I got to get the money to pay those down. But if you have business credit, then you don't have to worry about your personal credit fluctuating or going up and down because all of your accounts, your credit cards are under the business, right? Your paydex score, and then your personal credit remains totally separate from your business credit. So then that way you don't have to worry about your credit usage or utilization because the business credit side, it does not weigh that in. It doesn't weigh it in.
And they
Okay,
want you to
so if
use it.
you have got, so like I got a credit card that is a $26,000 limit, a Chase, excuse me, Freedom card. And one month I had like close to a $13,000 limit on, excuse me, balance on that card. And it did not plummet my credit scores for my business. It did not hurt. It didn't touch my personal credit because at the same time, the two are separated. It's my personal credit over here, business credit over here. If you're carrying high balances, so it would behoove you to, if you do not have business credit, to get with this man here, allow him to work on building your business credit as he's done his for his own self. He was probably his first client with business credit. And there's so many advantages to you using it. You don't have to worry about credit usage or your scores dropping because your balances are high. Do everything under the business. Don't wait. Tomorrow is not promised. Don't procrastinate. I would encourage you to do that, because what you have today is a result of what you did yesterday. And most people don't realize that. You don't plant a seed today and eat the fruit the same day. You don't. So if you want to be in a good position in the next 4 to 6 months, start today.
Most definitely. So with the business credit, let's talk a little bit about the credibility. Let's not go too far into it. It's a lot of things you can find online. And I don't want to be the person regurgitating online information. If you've seen some of my posts, I have a problem with that. And I actually try to stay away from that. And it may actually like limit my post sometime. Like I don't want to post all day because it's so much information out there that when I post, I want to, a fresh take on things. And I actually seen it. They call that it's something they call that
What?
imitation something. Like when you fear being a copycat, like, you know what I'm saying? I've been dealing with that. Yeah, it's called
like if you post something and someone copying off of you,
no,
or
if
something.
me regurgitating the same information that's out, like it's called like imitation limitation or something. They called it. I seen it
But
online.
I would tell you this, right, in front of everybody, and say, hey, listen, man, there's nothing that I will say today that has not been said already for the last 10, 20, 30 years. I might put a different spin on it. And I don't care, your favorite guru, and no matter what field, whether it's real estate, they didn't come up with the information they're spitting out.
No.
Right? So as much as you may love them and appreciate them, just appreciate them for being the student that they are, regardless, because at the end of the day, they're taking the information, they've gotten it from somewhere, and now they're giving that information to you. But they didn't come up with that information. Doesn't make them bad. And if they give you good information, just appreciate that. So I would say, don't worry about it, even if you're regurgitating the information. Put your own spin on it. Put your own spin on it, because anything that you see, whether you scroll down the Facebook feeds or you go, anybody that you look up, trust me, they didn't come up with that information. It's been given already. Just put a different spin to it. So
I'm seeing that. I'm definitely seeing that.
Yeah.
So with the business credibility, kept simple, the business credibility is basically your business name, business address, business phone number, business email address, business website. You want to make sure you have your codes, and in doing the codes, I just did it in my kit. People, make sure that you choose. You don't want to lie on your codes, but you want to make sure that your code is the least threatening code you could have under your. Like with me, I wouldn't put a credit code. I would put business consult. So and that's not lying. It's you want to use the least threatening code, the least code that get you in trouble. And then there's other things you want to make sure that everything is consistent. I'm giving a basic overview over it before I hand it over to Aazim. You want to make sure that everything is consistent. I just talked to one of my friends today about making sure everything is consistent. Your address is the same at your bank account. Your address is the same online, IRS. Everybody have the same information, because with these business credit creditors, providers, and because it's all kind of business credit.
Right.
But with these people, you do not want to have anything inconsistent, because they are looking for a reason to discredit your business. And that can mean you don't have it registered with 411. It can mean you are not, when they Google you, you're not popping up, different things like that. Or maybe you popping up with the wrong address. Maybe your website doesn't have anything on it. It's just a landing, just a landing page with nothing on it really. You want to make sure your business looks as much as like a business as possible. So I just wanted to get that out the way. Basic credibility checklist. It's a full one in the kit, but I want my brother to elaborate a little bit on that.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So the thing is this, credibility is important. A lot of people, the first thing they do is they go apply for accounts. They say, hey, I'm going to apply for accounts. But before you do that, just like If you go to build a house, you don't start putting up windows right away. You have to build the foundation first, right? So the foundation of your business is the credibility. So DMB, which is Dun and Bradstreet, they are a credibility corporation, right? Creditors look to DMB, Dun and Bradstreet, to say, okay, is J&J Trucking credible? Should we lend money to them? And DMB, having your profile and all of your information, they says, no, they're high risk because we looked at this company and they're using Yahoo, they're using Gmail, they don't have any information online. All of their information is not congruent, meaning the same across all channels. It's not the same. So it's important that you work on the credibility of your company before you start applying for accounts, right? So you work on the credibility, just like Alvin said, you want to make sure that your number is listed with 411. You want to make sure that your address listed for the company is not your home address, that you actually get a virtual address for your company. And then that is actually, if your company is already incorporated, you want to make sure that now that virtual address, you go and change the address on your documentation. You change the address on your actual banking account. You want to make sure that all of those things are done, that everything online is the same. It's all congruent. So then that way, now the credibility of your corporation, you're not using your mobile phone as your phone number for your business. You actually get a phone number, right? Through Ring Central or Vonage or one of these companies, VoIP, meaning voice over internet phone. And then you're actually going to register it with 411. You're going to make sure that you have a domain name for your company. You have an online presence. I tell people, think about it this way, right? If I come to you and I ask you, can I borrow $50,000? And you can't find any information about me, or I have conflicting information all over the place, would you loan me that $50,000? No, you wouldn't. So you want to make sure that you are credible and that you are seen in a positive light. We don't make up the rules. You don't make up the rules. So the people that are making up the rules, we want to make sure we play the game so we can win. That's important. So the credibility before you start opening up tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 accounts is important. So when you go to apply for tier 1 accounts, then now the likelihood of you opening up those accounts and getting approved is very highly likely. It's very important.
Most definitely. I've told the people that I've helped out in the last year, the credibility is like you said, that's the foundation. Like, don't try to skip parts in the credibility. Well, I just this,
Right.
or I got a PO box, or even the email. I've had people tell me, my business email is, like I have a real life business solutions at Gmail email, but that's not my
Right.
business email. When somebody
Right.
asks for my business email, I have
Mhm.
jackpot at reallifebusinesssolutions.com. Yo,
Right.
please make sure that your business email is the domain, is your actual domain name.
I mean,
And it could
right.
be info at or your name at whatever.
Right.
So it's no cheating the credibility list. Make sure you take care of every step in that credibility list because you
Mhm.
have to go back and clean it up. I had to do it with mine because I didn't know this
Right.
information when I started my company. I had to actually go back, change the address with the state,
Mhm.
do all of that. And then I had actually got denied a couple of things before I realized it, like, dang, why they denying me? And
Mhm.
I actually missed they make you pay $25 a year here.
Oh, okay.
They make you pay for on your LLC, you
Mhm.
gotta pay a yearly statement. They sent me an email like 2 days ago saying,
Yeah.
before February 5th, make sure you pay the $25, the statement fee every year. And I
Yeah.
hadn't paid that this year for
Right.
real life business solutions
Oh,
because I
okay.
started it last like July. I'm thinking, okay, I wasn't paying that much attention to it. That's another reason to be denied credit that you're not up to
Exactly.
date in your yearly
Yep.
statements.
You want to be in good standing.
You want to be in
Yep.
good standing.
Yeah.
My business wasn't in good standing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the little things you learn, and that's why I
It's
didn't rush
true.
out and try to do everybody business credit.
Yeah.
I've tried to learn my own and say, okay, now I can help you.
Yeah.
You
You know the
understand? Because
government got to get paid. They're gonna have to have their hand in
man,
your pocket some type of
25,
way.
and it's just a little
25 in
25.
New
They want it.
Jersey and New York, of course, is a lot more than that. But
Yeah,
it's the government has to have their hand. They got to get their cut.
they want their money.
They want their
So
money. So
So with uh in doing the business credit, right? What's some
Hmm.
of the issues you've had in
Excuse me.
working with business credit clients that's not necessarily the same issues with personal credit clients? Like what's some big business credit client issues?
Like when you say issues, like problems that with
Just
the
in
actual
dealing with the
clients.
clients, like actually in dealing with the clients, like actually, while you trying to teach them something or while you trying to, because we can't
Oh,
necessarily sign everything for them or do everything. So we still need assistance for them to actually handle some part of the business. So what's
right.
some of the
Oh,
issues you
so
ran into?
problems. I can tell you a lot of problems with clients. So, but no. So with clients, it's just like family. You got some good ones and you got some bad ones, and you got some of them. You're like, oh man, let me just here take your money. You go the other way. But so with business credit clients, one of the things I would say is this: is that when they sign up for business credit, and you're going through the process, and they paid the fee to do that, or if they're on a payment plan, one of the things I look at is that I had clients in the past would say, "Well, hey, I gotta, I gotta buy stuff, I gotta purchase stuff from Uline or Quill, or I already paid to sign up for business credit. I didn't know I was gonna have to do this." I say, "Hey, when you bought that car, did you go back to the dealership and say, hey, you want me to change the oil and put gas in it
That's it.
too?"
I gotta
No, no,
wash it.
you bought the car. Yeah, I gotta wash it and maintain it. I'm like, so I make sure that we disclose those things up front so the person knows that, hey, you signed up for business credit, but in order for you to be able to build a business credit, a strong business credit profile, you're going to have to purchase some things on net 30 accounts, which you may not have to put upfront money, but once you actually get the merchandise, they'll issue you an invoice and then you make the payment. That's going to help. You're helping to build your business credit score. I'm not benefiting from it. You're not sending me the money. So do what you got to do for yourself and for your family and to build your credit for your business. Some people, unfortunately, some people are very pessimistic. Some people are very small minded, and you'll catch them at the movies all the time or out to dinner or happy hour, but they want to complain about
No, we
you can't give people a positive mindset. So,
yeah,
but
we in
yeah, those
Detroit.
are just some of the problems. Oh,
We
you
in
said,
Detroit, they gonna be at the Jeezy concert.
oh, the G's.
No,
Oh,
we
okay.
don't miss Jeezy. One thing about Detroit, we don't miss Jeezy. So
Oh, for
they
real?
might miss the
Oh, I didn't know
payments,
that.
but they no, boy, we don't miss
Oh, okay.
Jeezy live here. Jeezy live in Detroit. He gonna come here
I didn't even
four to
know
six
that.
times a year,
Oh,
and
wow.
every
Okay,
single
cool, cool.
show sold out. So,
Wow.
yeah, we love him here. Meech and them from here, Southwest.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
That's right.
he was
I
always
don't
here,
know how I
man.
forgot that.
Oh
Yeah,
man, we love Jeezy here. People
I'm.
will spend their last on the Jeezy. They gonna spend the car note, the
Yeah,
house rent, everything
I'm
gone
a
on Jeezy.
BMF fan. I love BMF. You watch it? I want.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, you
it,
watch
bro.
the
I
show?
love
Yeah,
it.
I watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Southwest, baby. We got to.
Yeah.
That's how we grew up. In Southwest meat, Southwest tea and Big Meat. So anyway, though,
Mhm.
the let's talk about the actual credit cards when you building business credit. So what's
Okay.
some good credit cards for a business?
Okay. So a couple good ones, corporate cards that you could obtain without having a personal guarantor. Now, again, it's not, hey, I got a business, let me just go apply for these now. You need to make sure that you check your business credit
Hmm.
scores. Make sure you have accounts reporting. Make sure you
Yep.
have a profile. Check your account through
Yep.
nav.com, and you can look at your business credit profile for Experian, Equifax, and also Dun and Bradstreet.
DNB.
You can
Yep.
look at your profiles,
And it's
right?
tiers. It's a
Um,
free one. Hold on. It's a free
yeah,
one because people run when you get to telling them stuff. It's a free
right,
one.
right,
You can get the general information like you get Credit Karma, and then you can step it up and pay quarterly. I think it's like 130 quarterly, and
right,
then it may be about 375 or something for the year. But it's definitely what you need while you building your credit, and you can lax a little bit after you built it and you good and you just keeping
right,
up with it. But while you building it, you have to, like, I'm on Nav every other day. Like, let me make sure they reporting, and it don't work like that. Now,
right.
before you get into the credit cards, let's talk a little bit about PG because uh Daryl's actually a guy I went to school with. He does business credit and credit repair too. But
Okay.
he actually posted the question, why do so many people talk about no PG, and when does PG come into play when you build in business credit? So that was his question, basically just asking him, cover PG a little bit. He know,
Okay.
he just wants you to,
Right. So the thing
verify.
is this too. There are some accounts, if you have creditors that don't require a PG, right? Like I'm getting ready to go over some of them in a minute. You can get with no personal guarantor. But you cannot not have a business credit profile and get no PG. So meaning that if you're going to get no personal guarantor, that business has to have an established profile, a 80 or higher paydex score, right? Your paydex score is your business credit score, just like FICO is your personal credit score, right? Your FICO score. So if you have a business profile that's strong and established, you can get a no PG. You can get no PG corporate credit cards. You can do that, right? But you can't do that with no PG if the business has no profile or you have nothing on it. So you got to have one or the other, either a strong PG and you can expedite the process, right? Whereas though those accounts still won't show on your personal credit,
Mhm.
right? But if you don't have strong personal credit and you can't be a personal guarantor, you have to go through the process every single step, tier one credit, tier two, tier three, build it up to that process to then be able to get these credit cards that I'm going to give you just a couple of them, and you can do no PG. But you have to have a business credit profile and business credit scores in order to be able to do that, right? So some of those cards are like Capital on Tap, Sam's Club. You have Brex. Divvy's another one. Like I'll give you an example. Sam's Club, you have to have an 80 or higher paydex score. You can go into Sam's Club. What you need to do first is get a membership with them. You get a membership, a corporate membership, not under your personal name, but a corporate membership with Sam's Club, right? Then you allow that account to sit, I think it's 30 days. And then you can apply for their Sam's Club MasterCard, right? Which you can use anywhere. I don't want you to think that, like, well, I don't like Sam's Club. I don't want to buy stuff at Sam's Club. It's an actual MasterCard. They may give you anywhere from 7 to 10,000 on that card, but you need to have an 80 or higher paydex score. So those are some of the accounts that you can open up corporately as a corporation with no personal guarantor. But if you just started your company yesterday, you're not going to get corporate credit cards tomorrow with no personal guarantor.
Most definitely. So, um, what's some good ways to actually leverage that credit? Let's say you get the $10,000 card, or or more. What's some of the ways to leverage that credit and actually use that credit line to build your business?
Um, to leverage the credit that you get, you're saying
Yeah.
some ways that you could leverage it if you own a business.
Yeah,
Okay,
you own a business,
so
legitimate business. I ain't saying you
right,
just twerking and you trying to, work the
right, right,
system. I'm saying you actually own a business and
right.
they give you $10,000 in credit. Um, so let's say you got these guys that's doing these PPP loans. I actually seen something online
Mhm.
where they was in Georgia and they was like, listen, it was like 55,000 some PPP loans and
Uh,
$6 billion in PPP loans out, and they was looking at the list because the list is a public list, and they like, listen, these people don't have any type of internet presence, any type of this, and they actually was like the news was going and chase people down. Like I seen that today, in Georgia, the news was like
right.
knocking on, going door to door, like,
Wow.
is this home such and such business? And people like, nah, you know what I mean? And they like, nah, well, you got $24,000.
Because
so
they're gonna be
so
on cops on
Man,
that
listen,
show.
it's serious. So, and people don't understand that even when like I know the Navy Federal loan. The Navy Federal loan is a loan. It's a business loan, and
Mhm,
people are doing whatever and getting this loan and
mhm.
shaking the bag with it, like whatever they want to do. But it's a loan. Like you got to
Right,
pay that
right.
back. Federal they giving y'all a loan, and some
Mhm,
people are building a whole business off of having you submit.
mhm.
Let me look around, make sure. Having you submit uh,
Mhm.
incorrect information. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say
false
basically you committing
documentation.
fraud.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
committing
it's
fraud.
false
Like
documentation.
it's
Exactly.
false documentation. So even though the actual loan is a real loan, when they tell
Mhm.
you to tell those people you made $100,000 last year and you made 28, you're committing a fraud. Like when you
Right,
have to
right.
put false or misleading information on a application, you are committing a fraud. And some people are building businesses off of this. Even if you looked at Big Dog, I actually still listen to Big Dog. He got some game, but
Mhm.
him 500. He got some
Right,
game.
right,
Like
right.
you know,
Hmm.
you got to decipher some of the BS from the
Right,
real game, but he
right,
got
right,
some game. So I listen to Dog, but he went
right.
on that live, million viewer podcast and basically was like, look, go in there and fill out an application and tell them you want a car and then change the loan to a personal loan and do this and that. And Dog
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I know what kind of loan. I know some people who did those loans, but I mean, it's crazy, man. Yeah, so you have to be mindful of where you take the information from. There's some people, man, in our communities that are geniuses. We, as a people, we're always very, we're resilient, we're resourceful. We're always gonna find a way. So I
definitely.
commend us as a people for being that way. But you also have to make sure, listen, no amount of money is worth your freedom. You don't want to be hustling from prison, you know. But as far as what you said to me about
What's the right
what
thing
would
to
you
do?
do? Yeah,
Yeah.
with the money, if you're in business and you get money, one of the best things you can do is you could actually take that money now and put it into marketing, right? Or hire others to help you. One of the things that I would say that you should do as a business owner is you need to work on systems and processes, but marketing is key. Marketing is the engine, right, that drives any business. How
Mhm.
many restaurants you've been to that the food was good, but then they closed their doors because too many people didn't know about them? They didn't close their doors because they were excellent marketers. They closed their doors because they didn't know how to market. Or how many people do you see on the streets, whether it's the streets of New York or the streets of Chicago, and playing instruments, and you're like, wow, that person sounds good, or they're singing in the subway. They didn't really know how to market themselves. Marketing is the key that will drive any business, right? That's the engine. Nothing gets done until something gets sold. One thing that I would really, really um, kind of just advise everyone, become a master marketer. I study some of the greats like Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy, if you don't know this man's name, look him up. A lot of stuff that I talked to you about, Alvin, I got from Dan Kennedy. Like I said, there is no first. Whoever you talk to, they're not the first to come up with something. But Dan Kennedy, trust me, if you look at his history, this man was one of the first. He's a genius, marketing genius. You want to understand your market, your media, and your messaging. Those are the three things, the triangle: right market, right message, using the right media. If your crowd may not be on Facebook, you know, your crowd may not be on Facebook. You may need to use direct marketing, mail pieces going out to your people, but it's important. I would put money back into marketing, a certain percentage of your budget, right? And your marketing, you could do guerrilla marketing. I don't care if you go and knocking door to door, perfect your sales pitch, right? Become an expert marketer, because you will never want for anything, no matter what business you go into, because marketing, right? The principles are the same whether you are a landscaper, a
Yeah.
contractor, an
You see,
attorney. If you know how to market yourself, that's key. So I would put money into marketing and
definitely.
hiring. Those are two things that I would put money into.
And you see people switch professions and they still successful and you wonder like, man, how did he go
Yeah, because
from
it's the
doing this to
basic
that?
principles.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've actually seen drug dealers start selling cars and like
Yeah.
like a guy that I know, he's like selling Lexus. Like he's just been selling
Right.
cars for
Right.
like 6 months and he's selling the hell out of these Lexuses. He
Yeah.
actually had somebody call me like 2 weeks ago about fixing their credit, like for because
Right.
they like, man, they a little short. I need you. They're a little short as
Right.
far as
Right.
credit go. So
Right.
you're right. Once you get those type of concepts together and you actually understand the concept of marketing, it's a different ball game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So definitely. And I see that a
Yeah.
lot of times with people.
Mhm.
They more market than they are actual product. And then I've
Mhm.
seen it vice versa. Like, dang, you got a good product, but your marketing is like
Right.
non-existent.
Right.
So that's one of the
Exactly.
things. So is that what we taking into 2023 to build these businesses up is, let's master this marketing.
Yeah, that's key. That is, I'm telling you, if you start reading marketing books, right? Direct marketing, it's important for you to become a master at marketing. The
Mhm.
time that you spend watching a football game, read. I see so many people, especially us as men, hey, money is funny, money ain't right, but you could tell me every football score, but you don't know your business. You're not spending time in your craft. You get out of business and in life what you put into it, right? You don't put nothing into it, don't expect much out of it. Or you put a little bit in, you're gonna get a little bit out,
Most
right? It's
definitely.
just like with the bank. You can't go to the bank and be like, all right, well, I put in 300. Well, hey, let me get 10,000 out of there. No, they're gonna say, here go your 300 back that you
That's
put
all
in.
you got
That's
in there.
it.
And they gonna give you
So
point zero zero
yeah,
zero zero
you
two
can,
percent interest.
and we took out some money for fees too as
Yeah, they gonna
well.
give you
So
point zero 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 zero
yeah,
two percent interest and
you
charge you
can't,
$15 a
yeah,
month for a
you
fee.
can't cheat the game. You can't cheat the game. So you have to. It's okay to hustle, but at the same time, you want to have a business mind and you want to make sure that you become a master marketer. If you're in business, 70% of your day should be prospecting.
That's it.
My
Man,
my my business coach, when I first started this business, he told me, he said, listen, nothing gets done until something gets sold. I had a business partner, excuse me, when I first started the business, and he was a engineer at Lockheed Martin, and I was more so the front end sales and marketing. That was my side, and he was back in the admin part. And he never left his job, and he was like, "Hey, once we get to a certain point, then I'll leave." And my business coach, and at the time mentor, he's out of the business now. He owned a very successful credit repair company in Texas, and he told me, he said, your partnership with him is not going to work out. And I was like, why? What do you say that? Like, please don't say that. Me and him are great friends. And he was right. It didn't work out. He said, listen, because one, he's not as committed as you are, right? And then two, he doesn't understand that, listen, without you, he would have no back end to do anything. He said, nothing gets done until something gets sold, you know? So if you don't have the sales end and the marketing end of your business down pat, all of the systems and the processes in the world won't matter. But systems and processes are important in a business.
most definitely. So we talked about leveraging the business
Mhm.
credit with the personal credit. What are some of the tips to get to maximizing the personal credit, good personal credit? So um if let's say you got this is not it's not a vanity number. Your credit score is not a vanity number. And once you get,
Mhm.
the major things, a house, a car,
Mhm.
what are like how to clean the credit in let's say 3 to 6 months. What's the best things I could do to clean my credit up and get a good loan, a good personal loan?
Well, to clean your credit, one, they should call you. No, I'm not saying. I'm plugging you. But yeah, so
He's
the thing is
unplugging.
this too, is yeah, with your credit, working on your credit, if you're gonna do it yourself, I would say this, right? If you're not gonna pay a professional, before you send out one dispute letter, make sure that you study the process and you actually have it mapped out. Get yourself a flow chart. Well, if this happens, then I need to do this. If they come back with a lawsuit, then I'm going to do this. Because if you're not going to do that, then don't embark upon a journey that you're not ready to take. Don't do it. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. The thing is this, the money that you spend going to happy hour on Friday, or you spend in other places, and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna scale back a little bit and I'm gonna invest that money into myself, and I'm gonna get my credit repaired by a professional. Not the cheapest, not the most expensive, but I'm gonna vet people that I want and say, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do because I'm gonna invest. I tell people this, listen, when you come to me and you spend money, and you're investing into yourself. You're not
Mhm.
spending. It's an investment. So it's important that they work on their credit. If you're not going to do it yourself, it's a tedious process. Trust me, if credit repair was easy, everybody would have good credit. Everybody would have good credit. Credit repair is not easy. Most people have not so good credit. So, and I tell people this, me and a partner of mine had a saying. We said good credit repair and cheap ain't cheap, and cheap credit repair ain't good.
No.
So it's not. You're not gonna. You get what you pay for. You know.
Yep.
So it's important. So work on your credit, work on your business credit, come up with a game plan, map out what you want your 2023 to look like. Because I just feel that as a country we're getting ready to go into some really rough patches, and we need to be prepared for those. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Most definitely.
You know,
So going into this rough patch, what's some advice for doubling his money, tripling his money, 10 times in his money, going into 2023 and dealing with the rough patch in the most productive way, the most financially lucrative way, business multiplying way. And we not gonna hold you too much longer. I know you got another interview, but I want to say going
Mhm.
into next year, what's some great advice that you'll give people as far as expanding their business even through the recession or whatever we have coming. We don't know exactly what's coming. It's looking
Right,
like a recession. It could be a depression. I mean, it could get worse. You know what I'm saying?
right, right, right.
So for whatever's coming, this storm that's coming, how can you say business owners and entrepreneurs gear up?
Okay. One, continue to just a couple of things that I would say. One, continue to educate yourself on your craft, whether it's credit repair, whether it's business credit. If you're a contractor, educate yourself, become the expert in your field. Don't let anybody outsmart you and outwork you. Invest into yourself, because trust me, what you do in the dark will come to the light, right? So it's important. Become the expert. The second thing I would say is systems and processes. This is something that I ignored for a very, very long time. And what I mean by this is documenting everything that you do in your business, right? I know, especially a lot of older individuals, maybe in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, who have come from that old school. They had, that notion that they had to do everything in business. If the trash had to be taken out, nobody could take out the trash like them. If something had to be done, nobody could do it like them. But the thing is this: I would take that time and work on your systems and processes. And what we mean is everything that you do, whether it's how do you enroll a client, should be documented, word for word, step by step, documented, recorded on video. How do you handle a client cancellation? How do you handle a disgruntled or dissatisfied client? What systems are you using? Document all of those things. Well, the purpose of this CRM is this, or do those things. So then that way, when you start hiring and you start hiring individuals and everything's on video, you create a library of the things that they're going to be using. And then that individual can step in, right? And they can see how everything is done. So that way, even if you do hire somebody, let's say that individual doesn't work out, you don't have to now go through saying the same thing over and over again, because everything in your business is well documented, is well planned out, and you have everything mapped out. So your systems and processes, trust me, listen, there's times working on systems and processes, like I'm like, yo, I need a drink. Oh my God, I'm like, I can't, it drives me crazy. But if it was easy, everybody would do it. And it's not an easy thing. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Take your time. Work on this guy I knew in real estate. He used to have what he called System Saturdays. And he was from Ohio. And a guy used to say, on Saturdays, that's when I work on my systems and processes. During the week, remember, nothing gets done until something gets sold. 70% of your day, every single day, should be prospecting. You should be prospecting, closing clients, making phone calls, pounding the phones, perfecting your sales pitch, your unique selling proposition, all of those things. So those things are very, very important. But systems and processes is one. 70% of your day should be prospecting. And then your mindset. One of the the book I'm reading right now is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. That book is an excellent book. That book is actually changing my life right now. It's a book that I would encourage everybody to read. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. That book is excellent, excellent.
And
We
I
can post a
ordered me
picture
one.
of it on here too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can post a picture for your audience. But this is the thing that I would tell you, right? I don't care what business you're in. If your mind is not right, trust me, if your mind is not right, nothing you do is going to work. That's just like this, right? They say, hey, take a detox before you start taking vitamins and that. Because sometimes if your body is not ready to receive the nutrients that from the food that you're eating and the pills that you're taking, then it does not, it's a waste. So what you want to do is clean out the inside, right? So you
Hmm.
can get the outside right. Your mindset is right. You're ready to receive the information that you're taking in every day. So
And
I would encourage you to read that book, The Power of Your Subconscious
most
Mind. Yeah.
definitely, I read that. I mean, I haven't started reading that yet, but I read books like that, and like you say, you learn your craft. So I got like, when I started doing personal credit, I ordered like maybe like 5 personal credit books, and some of them had different information because everybody got their way to do things, and so
Mhm.
and some of them not even credit repair books. They're just talking about credit. So I'm just learning,
Right,
different
right.
things, laws or whatever. And then I ordered once I got to dealing with you and learning about business credit, I actually ordered 3 or 4 business credit books.
Yeah.
Some of them this big and some of them this big. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Right,
And then um what people have to realize is that um the first step in any type of success starts up here. Period.
yeah, most definitely.
It start up there, period,
Yeah.
because if you don't, like you said, if you don't clear that out, you will
Hmm.
never be able to put nothing else in there. If your head is full of junk and mess. So that's the
Yeah.
first part of the when I just posted the other day, like I'm working on a program, and the first part of the program is actually the mental part, because I
Hmm.
don't want to go any further into anything else if you're not susceptible to what I'm trying to teach.
Right.
If you coming into it, you should be a little, "Oh, I don't know." That's okay. Before I jump in a pool of water, I don't know how cold it is. I'm a little, but me, I'm a
Mhm.
jump in person.
Right.
You remember even when I was
Right.
doing
Right.
the training for you, and you was like, "How
Hmm.
long you been working with this system?" I'm like, "Man, it's been about 68 days." You're like, "What?" I'm like, "Look, when I
Yeah.
get into something, I get into it."
Right.
So, and that's how people got to come into any type of progression. We got to come
Right.
into it with an open mind and a sincerely open heart, and being willing to learn what we trying to
Right.
learn. Don't come in
Exactly.
it and you want to bring negativity into it. Oh man, if it was this here, well, who's to say that? Oh man, you just trying to get out. If you come in with that
Hmm.
attitude, you will leave with nothing. This was a
Yeah.
conversation. This was $1 million conversation
Hmm.
that we just gave away for free. But if you coming in with a negative attitude, you probably leave with nothing.
That's true.
So
That is true.
that we got to work on the mental, and that's a lot of things with us as a people, is that mental part. We go through so much that by the
Yeah.
time we 25 and 35, instead of us actually using some of the fight that we went through to actually strengthen us, and you look at that and say, dang, I learned that, I made it through that. And that's how I look at my life. I made it through that. I can make it through anything. I don't look at my life and say, dang, this happened. Oh man, it's the end of the world. That happened. Oh man, what am I gonna do? I look at it like, dang, I made it through that. This little storm this week was nothing. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, I
That's
can get
true.
through it. I'm gonna come
Yeah.
out better. But it's all about how you take it. Now we
Yeah.
got another question up here for you, Azim. It say, does your personal credit or business credit have higher capabilities, um, the ceiling, or it just depends on how you utilize each? Um, I'm gonna let Azim answer it. You know, this actually one of my good friends too, but I'm gonna let you
Okay.
answer it.
Does your personal credit or your business credit, where's it at? The question, does it
Can
have
you
a
see it on
ceiling?
there? I
Hold on,
got
let
it
me see.
posted. It should be, if you're looking at the live, it should be
Let me
across
see.
your screen.
I think I see an advertisement. Let me close that out. Okay. Power of the subconscious mind. I see the post. Where is it? Does your personal credit or business credit have higher capabilities, ceiling, or is it just depends on how you utilize each? Um, you, I think, well, with business credit, you have more capabilities or an ability to do more, right? Because with business credit, you take a company like Walmart. Walmart has over 5,000 trade lines on their business credit report. And it's not because they need it is because they understand the power of leverage, right? With personal credit, you're going to weigh your personal credit down at some point. So this is what you should be doing. This is how you should figure things in your mind. So you got your personal credit over here, right? Your personal credit stays extremely strong, right? You have maybe 3 to 5 trade lines, your house, 3 to 5 credit cards on there, simple things. Your personal credit remains strong. It doesn't have a bunch of inquiries on your credit. And you use your personal credit to build up your business credit. And at some point, guess what, right? Now you can build up your business credit without having a personal guarantor. But if you have good personal credit, you can actually expedite and speed up the process so that way you build it faster. But if you have your business credit on this side, you can continue to build hundreds and hundreds of trade lines in your business credit name. It will never ever need your personal credit again, and you just leave your personal credit sitting. So I would say your business credit is even, I wouldn't say more valuable than your personal credit, because they serve two different purposes and two different functions. But I would say really, really focus on your business credit, because your business credit will never hit a ceiling. Never.
Yeah, you looking at people getting $250,000 business credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
get into funding. Because the goal of business credit is not necessarily to get all of this credit. And as we stated earlier, I built my business credit up over the last year. I'm not building my business credit up to look at my business credit like, yeah, I
Right.
got $10,000 car. The point of actually having pretty good business credit so you can get funding to do what you want to do. So whereas with your personal credit, you got this $10,000 car. As soon as you use 5,000 of it, you have 50%
Right.
utilization. Now your score drop down. They may
Right.
even lower some of your credit limits because your score dropped down. You know, things happen. It's like a whole domino effect with your personal credit. With your business credit, pay your bill on time. They don't care if you use every dime of it and you pay these bills on time. They
Right.
are going to give you more money. They want you to use it. So let's
Right.
say you have $20,000 in business credit and you're only using $5,000 of it. So why would they give you more money? Why would they say here's a $50,000 limit? But if you use the $20,000, then you pay it off. And in their mind, you're actually using it for your business. You're doing something in your business. So if you use the 20 and paid it back, then they don't mind giving you the 30. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Exactly. One other tip, I don't know why I was just thinking about this, is that I would leave with everyone to say is, listen, get out of trying to perfect everything. I had to do this myself, and this is something I talked to you about, something I had to tell myself. Done beats perfect, because perfect never gets
It's
done.
done. Yep.
Listen, just think about this. What are we up to? Like iPhone 14 right now? Is it iPhone 14? So if the first iPhone was perfect, we wouldn't have an iPhone 14. But they kept improving as they went along. Whatever you are, wherever you are in business, right? Be okay with that. Don't have to have I've seen so many people, right? I'm like, hey, did you work on that business? Did you launch the business? No, I'm still working on the logo. You've been working on a logo for 6 months now. You've been trying to
He's
get the
trying to get a
perfect
Nike
business
swoosh.
name.
He's
Yeah,
trying to get a
I
Nike
mean,
swoosh or the little
everything that you're
apple or the
trying to
little apple.
do. Yeah, so you're trying to do everything in business. You want everything to be perfect, and you have to go ahead and at some point launch, right?
That's it.
And
Yep.
then you can improve things as they go along. You don't have to have a 1,500 square foot office. You can start right at your kitchen table, whatever it is. Make sure you do, even if you're in business now, do what you need to do. Utilize your time, right? Time block. Make sure that you invest the time that you need to invest into yourself and into your business. And don't worry about perfection. Trust me, don't worry about perfection. So that's one of the things that I would say that's really, really important, that was like on my mind and in my heart, to say, listen, don't worry about perfection. Just
Most
do it.
definitely. Because I've been perfecting these little credit kits I put out. Man, I've been sitting there. I've been telling you, man, I'm working on this kit. I'm working on this kit. And literally
Mhm.
last weekend, I said, man, let me get this kit out. Like I
Yeah.
sat down, finished both of the kits, got the artwork I needed. Let me get these kits out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm selling the kits. Like it, and I was so bombarded with, like I said, I'm like, man, I want to make
Right.
sure this information is solid. But like you said, it
Right,
be
right, right,
the fact that it's out now, it's a weight off my chest. I'm like, dang, it's
right.
good. The
And
information
you
good.
may
I know
improve
the
it
information.
in 2 months from now and make some changes to
Yeah,
it, and
but you can do
so
that.
yeah. But
You
you
can
put
do
it
that.
out.
Yeah,
That's the
so
good thing. You
most
put it out.
definitely. So we gonna wrap this up. Let the people know where to find you at. You not stepping on my toes, man. We get money together. So let them know where to find you at. And we gonna
Well,
go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Well, honestly, too, it's not, and I'm not saying like, oh, I don't need, I'm here to help whoever.
Most definitely.
I want you to be extremely successful, and I've watched your progression over the last year or so, and you're really doing your thing. I love what you're doing, and I know that you are going to be successful. And I'm just again watching your progression. So as far as I'm concerned, if I can help anybody, honestly, I would never take on anybody from your group as a client. I wouldn't do it. So
Mhm.
I honestly, I couldn't do it. But as far as anybody needing help and advice, I love to contribute as much as I possibly can. Business credit, personal credit, funding, any of those things. But again, anytime that I can contribute information, let me know. I'm here as changes come about in our industry. I would love to come and share more, and do more, man, because we all family. We all
Most
family.
definitely.
So
No, I'm saying tell them where the social media and let them know where we doing because you got another interview tonight. I'm gonna be tuned into that.
yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
let's tell them the
Yeah.
social
Well, my
media.
company is Leaf Credit Solutions, and the website is leafcreditsolutions.com. My name is Aazim Sharp, and I'm on social media. And I can be found on pretty much all platforms: YouTube, TikTok. I haven't done anything. I need to get on there. Um, Instagram, Facebook, all platforms. So pretty much, and LinkedIn too as well. But I'm here to help give out any information that I can to help as many people as I can.
Most definitely. So tell them a little something about the interview tonight. Where can we check that out?
That's where the hold on. Let me type it in there. Where's is this what? Where's the chat at?
Black Collar Six talking about. He say, let him
Right.
know I'll ask my other questions on his other interview. He told me he gonna go to the next interview
Oh
asking
no, don't come.
questions.
So no, I'm just like. So
Hey,
which questions that I did not answer that you wanted?
no, I don't know. He tells me I'm gonna let him know I'll ask my other questions on his
It's
other
with
interview.
chat through
What other
Chad Elliott.
questions you got? What other questions you got? We can answer the questions right here.
Where do I post it at? Can you post the link to Chad's page on there or whatever? Do
Yeah,
you have
shoot
it?
it. Do I? Oh
Let
no,
me see. Hold on.
you shot it to my phone. Let me
It's on Instagram, so
see the link.
it's
I'll
at
make sure I
nine
get the
o'clock
link.
tonight. Um, let's see. You can share the link on there for people to be able to check it out. So
Okay, I'm gonna send it to. I'm gonna put it in my notes and make sure it get to the. There we go. We gonna make sure y'all get this link because my guy busy tonight. He said, "Man, I can get them both done in the same night."
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
right.
So let me go
Yeah,
ahead and get it over here. I got it from my text.
cool.
There we go.
Cool.
And what's his name again? The
Chad Elliott.
Chad. Yep, Chad Elliott.
Yeah.
So he gonna be live with Chad Elliott. Let me post the
Yeah,
link.
Chad's a really cool dude too, man. Chad was a super producer. Like I was telling you before, he worked Swiss Beats, DMX. He worked with Destiny's Child. He was in music. They used to call him what did they call it? Dr. Seuss back in the day.
Yeah.
Worked with Jodeci back in the day. A lot of people. And Chad transitioned and started his own construction company and started doing construction for a lot of people in the industry. And then he started his own show, the Chad Elliott Experience. But he's a very well connected guy. I've been friends with him for a very long time, and I'm looking forward to going on there tonight, giving out some jewels, offering up information, and I appreciate whoever wants to tune in and watch. So it was a pleasure talking to everybody. I hope that we gave out helpful information And then
Oh, I see
we get
the
into it
my
again.
bad, Azeem. Here
Right.
go the other question. Is
Right.
going all in as far as business good or bad, or should you try to use all of your credit capabilities or just what is in your plan? Like basically, should you let's say you have $100,000 in business credit, but you only need to use 60. So should you just use the 60 or should you use the whole 100 and pay it back? Is it good to just use everything that they're giving you as far as business credit? That's basically
No,
what the
just use
question.
what you need. I wouldn't say use what you don't need. Use what you need. Um, and and don't waste. Don't be wasteful. Just use what you need. There may be a time when you may need the whole 100. There may be times when you only need 20, but use what you need. Um, and as far as applying for business credit, open up as many accounts as you possibly can, and whether it's with Apple and Store Credit and all of these other creditors in stores, even if you're not going to use it right away, because at some point you may find a need for it down the line. You may say, well, I like Android and I don't want Apple, but one day you may switch and you've already got an account with Apple and you can get computers. So, open up as many accounts as you can for the business, but you don't necessarily have to use them right away.
Most definitely. Well, people saying thank you, Shay, Black Collar Six, everybody. Really, man, we appreciate you for coming in.
I appreciate you all,
I'm
man.
glad my people showed up. I was worried about. I'm like, man, I don't want to. I want my guy
Yeah.
to come on. My guy taking a lot of time out his day,
Yeah,
but
and
my
no,
people
but
showed
this is
up.
the thing too, man. I would say this, and I would tell your audience this. Never worry about who's going to show up and who's not, because if
Definitely,
one person came here today and we could help them and change their life, I've done speaking engagements and drove 2 or 3 hours and only had 3 people in the room, and I spoke just like it was 300 people in the room.
oh man, I didn't did it
Just
rapping.
yeah.
I
So
know the feeling.
look at Tyler Perry. Look at where he is today. He put on shows with his last money, and nobody showed up, and it was very disheartening. It was discouraging. But I would say, listen, show up every day. That's life, man. Show up every day for your business. Show up for your family. Show up, more importantly, for yourself. Like the world is watching, right? If you sweep floors, be the best floor sweeper that there is. Take pride in everything that you do. Show up, because trust me, somebody's watching you.
Most
You know.
definitely.
So
Once again, shout out to Raphael, man. I got a bunch of people tuned in. They saying thank you. Thank you. I'm not gonna hold you up. I want to make sure you get ready for the other interview. I'm gonna be over there. I may ask me a couple questions over there. So enjoy
okay,
the rest of your night, man. We'll catch up in the next couple days. And oh, I'm
okay,
gonna put you on
definitely.
blast. Make sure you send my package out tomorrow. All right, y'all. Bye.
All right, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it. I am. I promise you. All right, I see y'all.
All
Bye.
right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.